What's up? This is Elo Speaks back again with another video. So I want to talk about the recent issue that many fans, specifically NBA sports fans, are having right now with the NBA in terms of the whole super team era and certain players stacking the deck in their favor. As you know, last week, LaMarcus Aldridge had signed with the Brooklyn Nets, and Andre Drummond has signed with the Los Angeles Lakers, along with Blake Griffin and a certain amount of other players. But a lot of NBA fans are complaining that all these teams stacking up superstars and athletes that are going to like certain teams to try to ring chase and win championships are making the league unfair, unbalanced, and it's not right. It's not going good for the NBA league. The ratings are going down. The viewership is not there anymore. There's nothing to be hyped about because particular teams are not have a fair shot of winning championships. I get all that, but unfortunately, that's just the way the NBA is right now. There's nothing we could do about it. The players are going to do what's best in their own interest, and that's the only thing that they could do. I'm not going to fault a man for doing what's in the best interest for him. If he feels like he's going to win a championship with this particular team, I can't fault him for that, because by the end of the day, we as fans, we denigrate and shame players for who didn't win championships, and we praise the certain players who did win championships regardless of how they do it. As regards to Kevin Durant, certain people say his rings are meaningless, but in 10, 20, 30 years from now, nobody's going to be saying that. They're just going to be saying that he's an NBA champion regardless of how he win his rings. But to get to the main point of why I made this particular video, I wanted to talk about the reason why certain things is the way it is. And to be honest, this is the fault of LeBron James. I blame him for this. And I know people are going to say this is not LeBron James' fault. It's more of the Boston Celtics. They're the one who really started the super team era. Yeah, I get that. But LeBron James is the one who started the player mobility era. And let me explain that. When he left the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2010 and went to the Miami Heat, he set a domino effect in place where players are going to leave their teams that they was drafted to and go to another team to where they felt like they could best win. This happened with LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and a plethora of other players. They're going to leave and go to wherever they feel like they could have a better chance of winning. There's only a rare few players right now like Steph Curry and Giannis Antetokounmpo. But after that, majority of players are leaving, going to better pastures to see if they can win a championship. Now, I feel like he's the one who's at fault at this because he's the one who ruined the league. People want to keep denigrating Kevin Durant, talking about he one who ruined the league. He's causing imbalance. He's doing all this. He's stacking team. He can't win without a super team. You could say the same thing for LeBron James. LeBron James can't win without a super team. LeBron James been stacking the deck in his favor since 2010 with the Miami Heat, with Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and then he did it again in 2015 with Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, and he's doing the same thing right now with the Los Angeles Lakers with Anthony Davis and Andre Drummond. And there's been reports that he was trying to recruit Steph Curry at the All-Star break. And on top of that, 2 seasons ago, he was trying to recruit Kawhi Leonard. So you can't say Kevin Durant is ruining the league when he's also doing the same thing too. He's stacking the deck in his favor. He's trying to win as much championships as he can so he can make his pathetic case for being the GOAT over Michael Jordan. But I digress. When it comes to the media coverage of LeBron James, it's always going to be biased towards LeBron James because of how there's certain fanboy toxic members in the media like Shannon Sharp, Colin Cowherd, Nick Wright, Max Kettleman. There's Kendrick Perkins. Those guys are going to cover LeBron James biasly because they're under his pocket. They're in his pocket. He's paying them to promote propaganda, saying that he's the GOAT, he's better than Michael Jordan, he's this and that. So you can't really take that too seriously. So that's why people in the media on YouTube, like regular Joe people, they're coming out with their own media platforms and giving you the real, because you can't trust people that's on TV no more because they're in certain people's pocket, or they're trying to schmooze, they're trying to, get an interview or trying to elevate the rankings, so you can't trust what they have to say. And there's also biased media coverage of Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie Irvings, and etc. because those guys are trying to take down LeBron James, so they're going to get covered a little bit more differently. Anybody that's basically trying to stop LeBron James from winning a championship, they're going to get denigrated and, regardless as not as good or as better than LeBron James, because people don't want them to be seen as better than LeBron James. That's why they're dumping on Kevin Durant. They're trying to disparage him. They're trying to say his rings are meaningless. They're trying to get into his head because, as we know, Kevin Durant is sensitive and he does retweets and he reads social media comments and he looks at that. He recently got an issue with Michael Rappaport, but that's a whole nother issue. But again, they're trying to demean him because they see that he's a threat to LeBron James. And the same thing with Kyrie Irving. They really don't get into Kyrie. Well, I'm talking about Kawhi Leonard. They really don't get into Kawhi Leonard because Kawhi Leonard don't say nothing. He just be about his business. He don't really have any social media presence. I don't even think he has an Instagram. But yeah, when it comes to Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, yeah, they go after those guys heavy because, they're really sensitive and you already know how they are in terms of social media. But when it comes to this situation, this is LeBron James doing. He's a victim of his own creation. He started the player mobility era where players can move freely and go wherever they want. This is his fault because I see it like this. LeBron James, he made MySpace. Kevin Durant made Facebook. LeBron James made Vines. Kevin Durant made TikTok. Kevin Durant is always going to keep out stacking LeBron James in terms of trying to build a super team. He doesn't care what any of you say, whether he responds to you guys or not. Because by the end of the day, he's trying to win a championship and he's trying to beat LeBron James. As long as he keeps beating LeBron James, people who are fanboys of LeBron James, they could talk all they want about how he's stacking the deck. As long as he's beating LeBron James, the narrative will change that he will be better than LeBron James. It will change whether you like it or not. You could say that he had all these players needed to win. You could say the same exact thing for LeBron James. LeBron James never won a championship without a super team. Ever. Never. Same thing in 2012, 13. Same thing in 2016. And same thing with the Lakers. He never won without a super team. And that's the reason why he'll never be the GOAT in my eyes. But that's a story. That's a video for another day. But as regards to that situation, Kevin Durant is just trying to out-levy the playing field so he doesn't lose to LeBron James because people already see him as second best to LeBron James, and he doesn't want people to see him as second best to LeBron James. They want him to see him as better than LeBron James because of the toxic media coverage of LeBron James, because of his paid agents in the social media where it comes to Fox Sports 1 and ESPN liberal media. But again, when it comes to this whole super team player mobility era, this is all LeBron James' fault. All of it. Regardless of it. I don't care what teams he had to go up against. I don't care what teams that were stacked up against him he had to go through. If that's the case, that's his business, that's his problem. Now, I don't mind him stacking the deck and having all these super teams, but you can't get mad when somebody else stacks the deck better than you and beats you at your own game. So those are my thoughts and opinions on the matter. Let me know yours down in the comment section down below. This is Ito Speaks out.